Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Today I've got an interesting piece to share with you guys that was sent in by a viewer of the show. It is simply labeled as a Paul Reed Smith Private Stock Custom 24. But with a staggering price point of $11,500, obviously there's going to be something to this one. So let's find out what that is. Just in case you're not familiar with the whole PRS territory, even I'm not an expert, but the big two models that they have are the Custom 22 and the Custom 24. It's these double cut shapes, and the 22 and 24 refer to how many frets they have. So this one being a 24 means it has a full 2-octave neck with 24 frets on it. Now, there's other various differences between the two, and you can kind of mix and match some of the specs. I know just enough to be dangerous on high-end PRS guitars, so I'm not going to dive too far into the details, but take a look at this thing. It's got a beautiful top carve to it with an awesome finish. So it starts like a very deep dark blue here, but then it kind of moves diagonally from the deep ocean to the shore until we eventually get to the beach over here. It's got that dark blue, light blue, then kind of a sandyish color. So, you know, that's kind of cool. I like that. And then when we catch it on the side profile view, you can see, okay, it does that whole fake binding thing. PRS is well known for doing that. Instead of actually putting a real binding on it, they just utilize the maple top, so you can still see the edge of the figured woods, and it looks good enough. It was funny, the last PRS SE review we did, the Zach Myers signature, it never occurred to me that was strange that a PRS had binding. But when I was looking at it on the edge, and I was like, yeah, that's weird. It's like the thin binding in the cutaway for Gibsons, but on the upper bout. The reason why that looked strange to me is because it had real binding. Most of them don't. But anyway, something else you can see in this photo is, ooh, nice wood grain on the edges here. Okay. I'm always a fan of natural wood grain. Like flame tops and quilt tops are great too, but when you get the right wood grainage on the edge, it looks fantastic. And got this like ice white finish, and it almost looks like an ash body from that wood grain. But to continue on the top, all the attributes plastic-wise are very stark white. So you've got the white switch tip, you've got these really strange, almost like dice knobs. I say dice because there's like so many different sides to it. A lot of the knobs that I'm familiar with, they don't have hard edges like this, so that's interesting. The pickup rings are also white, and we've got the chromed out hardware. That would have been cool to have like a frosted white cover on these, but at the same time, you know, you can't go overboard on some of these things. Okay, so it is a pretty nice looking guitar. But you guys know me, I don't just feature nice guitars. There's always got to be an it factor to it. So the top is nice, but the it factor is not the cool wood grain on the back. For today's episode, I am extending October officially for a bonus spooky guitar. Take a look at this fretboard here. So it is a figured maple, and it's all flamed out, so it would probably look really cool in person. But if you zoom in here, you can see PRS does the fret over the binding. But what if I told you that that's not real binding on this thing? That appears to me to be actually an inlaid fretboard within the neck. So that's kind of like a natural wooden binding again. You know how Fender does the channel bound necks that I love so much? You can check out a review and demo for my mod shop Antigua Telecaster that I had him do that on. Man, I still think about that neck sometimes. It was so nice. And that edge wood is actually maple. So the whole neck is maple. It's just been kind of routed out. And I bring that up because here's where the Halloween vibes come in. They have zombies on the fretboard. Like there's a whole mass of them right here. They're just kind of hanging out together, going towards the headstock. But the way that they did these is they actually put mother of pearl over top of that, and then they carved out the zombies, so the flame maple figuring is starting to show through. And then the further up you get, the more just straight up mother of pearl it's going. So we're starting to get Gibson Century of Progress type guitar vibes out of this thing. They had the pearloid fretboards even on the headstock. I mean, these things are a bit gaudy, but I mean, I think that was the whole point. But this one, in my opinion, pulls it off much better because it's got a design within it at the same time. So they've got like a half and half. I believe what they're trying to symbolize here is the whole upper frets are just a mass of zombies, whereas these are starting to space out. And then you've got this scene right here with the rest of it just being mother of pearl. But pearl with the flame and the designs, okay, kind of interesting, even if you don't like zombies. Like this just looks like a love scene right here. There's a lady reaching for help from her guy because all these zombies are coming after her. I don't know, that's just what I take from it. So there's a beautiful love story with this. But what have I told you? This is not even the it factor. Like, this is cool enough to be featured, right? But there's one more spec on this thing that just absolutely blew me away. And no, it's not the cutaway that shows you the cool wood grain either. It's the headstock. Absolutely love it. So not only did they do the mother of pearl again, but, you know, PRS is known for birds. They've got to put a bird on all their high-end guitars. And this one is a vulture. Perfect. Love it. Whoever designed this guitar, pat yourself on the back. Because like vultures, they eat dead things, so it makes sense that they would be here with the whole zombie theme of this. And then you get this little zombie hand on your truss rod cover that also appears to be made out of maple and multicolored tuners, because why not? Those also look to be flame maple, just staying different colors. So you got the blue, maybe like a darker blue, kind of hard to tell, and then just like the natural color. So my goodness, what a fancy guitar. They even went as far as putting a black nut on it to kind of match the tuner tops that you've got going there. And all this fun stuff, and we still have not even seen the back of this thing. So here's a side profile view. Looks like it'll be kind of like a white looking guitar in person because of all the natural maple before they start staining it on the neck. But okay, here we go. So private stock 9/22/21. So this was commissioned kind of right before that Halloween time. Unfortunately, it didn't sell, so that means it's probably gonna stick around for a while. But I don't know about you guys. I feel like you could buy this even outside of the Halloween spooky times, because outside of the fretboard, everything else is just beautiful. But where's our back? We found the back of the neck, how it transitions into the blue. Let's keep going here. Ooh. The color scheme on the back of the neck, now I'm realizing it's the same as the top, except for you start with the sandy beach, and then you slowly start getting deeper and deeper into the ocean until it's blue, and oh my gosh, Cthulhu! With a giant eye in the heel. I don't know, that kind of puts it directly into Halloween type themes, but it's completely on the back. It works with the whole theme of this thing. I appreciate the design in that. That's pretty cool. And now we're finally getting to the back of this thing. So the back plates are also made from the same pieces of wood that initially made up the guitar. That's pretty cool. And it's just a ice white finish with a little bit of blue grain fill. It's a fascinating guitar. It tells a story. It looks good. It's got a full-on gloss finish. It's not so over the top that you couldn't display it outside of Halloween times. It's just, I like it. I'll be interested to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. I would have liked it better if it would have been like the intonatable wrap tail version, just because I'm not a big trem user, but everything on this one, I think it's pretty darn cool. So now that we've gone over it, what do you guys think? $11,500? Does it work? I mean, it's a Paul Reed Smith private stock custom 24. I mean, it seems realistic for what their high-end private stocks go for. But let's see, what are our specs here? 7.8 pounds. Okay, that's all right. Apparently this whole mother of pearl thing with the walking zombies is exclusive to the shop, Brian's Guitars. But I would like to see PRS do more with that. That is an interesting look. And it looks like I was right. That is an ash body with ice blue filler. And for the guys curious about the pickups, it looks like the 5708 in the neck and the 5909 in the bridge. That doesn't mean much to me, but I'm sure somebody it does. But since we've got some time left today, let's go ahead and check out some other private stock PRSs. Oh, wow. Custom 24 Sandstorm Darude Breath. That's what I would have called it instead of Dragon's Breath. So what have we got here? It's like a dark kind of tobacco-like color, but then it transitions more into like a sunburst. Kind of reminds me of the sunset on the water with the quilt top. It could also remind you of like some sand. But they've got these like rosewood-like looking rings with uncovered pickups this time. Looks like a triple humbucker setup. This is just like a mini humbucker style guitar. And they've got those like bourbon style knobs here. 3 switches here, which I would guess means you can coil split each individual one. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. I kind of lost count. I'm sure you'd have about 20 different tonal opportunities or so. That finish is quite striking, but that's not even the half of it that I can tell. Okay. We had some nice, good photos here, and then they all got kind of out of focus, unfortunately. But that looks like a Brazilian rosewood neck to me, so that is fantastic. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's a back. all these little squigglies, those move in person. When you turn the guitar left or right, and all in the light, that will just come to life. It looks like you even have quilted maple backplates for the rest. I really, really like rosewood necks on high-end PRS guitars. They feel like nothing else. Like, I tried the ones on Fenders, they just didn't do it for me. I don't know what PRS does different, but the one Brazilian rosewood neck I had from PRS was just a fantastic piece. Like, I even like what we've got up here on the top. Yeah, so that's a kind of an older one, 711, 2017. That back is ridiculous. Like, come on, guys. Save some beautiful wood for the rest of us. How much does this guy want? 11,500 from Mexico. That's a cool guitar. What else do we got here? 7-string. Oh. I don't like Burl tops. That's just me. When you start getting into 7 and 8-string guitars, it just seems to pop up. It's like the uglier the guitar is, the better it is for that style of music. And I get people going, oh, why don't you like Burl tops? Like, I did the Fender custom shop Telecaster that was for charity, and I thought, yeah, that one was okay. But something like this, it doesn't really speak to me. Like, you just got green craters in here. All right. The 7-string aspect is kind of interesting. You don't see too many, like, ultra high-end ones that are trying to be artsy and fartsy. But I did just start learning about black machine guitars. Those things sell for crazy money. Like, we're talking even more than this thing. But that's because it's like a cult classic. But, oh, is that a mahogany neck flamed that crazily? Or is it just maple and it's stained? That's actually pretty new. That was done up in 2021. I gotta check out that specs though. What? It's ash? Okay. No further comments. That's kind of cool. I've got this evil looking vampire type thing. Like, the birds are very ominous on this finish. Like, that is a beautiful purple burst. From the dark to the light, it just reminds me of a vampire. Especially with the blacked out birds. You almost need just bats on this thing. Oh man, and the natural sides and back with the blacked out hardware. Oh, this is cool. But then they contrast it with that bare maple neck on there. Oh, the birds are purple. Cool. That's one of the nicer PRS headstocks I've ever seen too. Wow. Yeah, gotta say. I tried to get PRS to work with me on like showcasing one of these guitars. I think they're still looking into it, but I fell in love with one of their more animal-influenced fretboards that's not birds, that happens to be something that comes from the sea. We'll see if it happens. I'm not really holding my breath at this point, but I'm kind of new checking out PRS guitars. Now this one doesn't do anything for me, kind of a bland finish, but good if you like that oil slick color. Ooh, I like the headstock though, and one of those beautiful necks. Here's an interesting one at Dave's guitar shop. Like, doesn't do anything for me personally, but it looks like it's wearing like a fur coat. Like, it's got a certain Viking vibe to it, but what is that on the 12th fret? Whoa. I kind of like the back though. Doesn't work so well on the front in my opinion, but the back. Like, if this could have been a beautiful figured maple top, like kind of what we were looking at earlier today, it would have drew me in enough to the point where if I saw this on the back, it's like, all right, this is like some strange war scene going on here. And then you get a red burst neck with the natural. Oh. Not my favorite color scheme, but it's something I feel like you could appreciate better in person. It's got an interesting like phoenix type inlay there. And sweet, somebody else did a Zebrawood Top guitar. So Gibson has a limited edition Zebrawood Les Paul Standard. Actually, I think it's a classic antique. Those are cool guitars. So I always have kind of a soft spot for Zebrawood that looks good. And lastly today, they call this one Tiger Eye Glow. Kind of similar to what we've been seeing, but I don't think this color pulls it off quite as well as the other ones we were looking at. Like, this is nice. But that's the thing when it comes to PRS private stocks. Like, if you're going to buy one of these things, there's so many options on pre-existing used models or even the brand new ones. Like, this color's nice. If I wouldn't have looked at any of these other ones, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, look at that neck, look at that top. But there's always another private stock that'll just completely blow it out of the water. But that is a nice piece and available at Parkway Music for a little under 11,000 bucks. Alright, troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Let me know which one was your favorite. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.